Hey, Josh Tigg, Running T Farms, morning cattle move. Had quite a number of people yesterday after I posted the video of us starting to graze this eastern gamma grass. Wanted to see what it looked like post grazing, so I just moved the cattle this morning. I'll get a shot here of what this looks like. I thought I'd get a shot here of these, what it looks like. Just moved these in, so as you can see, whole lot of eastern gamma and a lot of other stuff. And then here is where we had grazed to yesterday and last night. So we have harvested just as much of this as we possibly could with the number of moves that we did. We only moved twice yesterday. Getting kind of hot. Still got some unadapted cattle we're working on, but we grazed this. As you can see, I don't know, we probably got 70% harvest efficiency on it. The rest is kind of walked down, just manure and urine everywhere. We will come back behind these cows when I get this grazed off with the bush hog, and we will mow it just as close to the ground as we possibly can. And why would we do that? I know some people would ask. Several years ago, when I first read Johann Zeitzman's book, Man, Cattle, and Veiled, he talked about ultra high stock density, non-selective grazing, and how it was necessary to keep from converting your pastures to non-desirable species. And it made sense to me, but I was always scared to graze that way, because you hear, you know, graze the top third, graze a half, leave the rest, etc. So over the next year or two, we applied his principles kind of in test spots. This bottom here, there's about a 6-acre bottom here that we've been grazing non-selectively under high stock density, and anything that we couldn't get the cows to eat, we have come behind them and mowed it. When we took over management of this farm about 5-6 years ago, there was no eastern gamma grass that I could see anywhere on the farm. After a year or two of just rotational grazing, if you will, we grazed with that take half, leave half grazing style. We did see a few eastern gamma grass plants showing up. But this bottom, after 2.5 years of ultra high stock density, non-selective grazing, and we've got a phenomenal amount of forage here, huge diversity. And the eastern gamma grass and some of these other warm season grasses, annuals, seem to be thriving. So why non-selective grazing? Well, if you'll look, you'll see some of this common rush here that the cattle have left behind. Right beside it is grass that they've eaten down to the ground. So they're still grazing selectively here. If we didn't come back in here and mow behind these cattle, what we're doing is all these palatable species that's here, we're giving them the unfair advantage over these palatable species. And the same thing happens, it don't matter where you're at. Cattle, if you can get a cow, if you can tell them to go in there and only graze the top half or the top third of every plant in the sward and stop, you know, that might work, but we could never get our cattle to do that. Our cattle graze the plants that they like, the most palatable, the best energy, best protein plants, hard to the ground, just like they've done here, and left this common rush. So 2.5 years ago, where I'm standing right now, was almost a 100% stand of common rush. This is a bottom that stays wet, not uncommon to see that. So this is what it's changed to now, after 2.5 years of ultra high stock density, non-selective grazing. I'm in waist deep. Most of these are annual warm season grasses. I don't even know all the species that's here. I just know there's a lot of it, and it's very palatable, and the cattle are eating those. And we only saw this transition after we started grazing non-selectively and allowing adequate rest, no overgrazing. So that's how we have come to that. We trialed it various places on our farm, and we've seen the same positive improvements in our predominantly fescue areas of our farm as well, where we're now seeing better diversity, tighter plant spacing, and more desirable species showing up. Not that I'm against Kentucky 31 fescue, all because it makes a fantastic crop to stockpile. But we're seeing a lot of clover, a lot of Dallas grass, a lot of Johnson grass. We're seeing eastern gamma grass showing up in our uplands, in our Kentucky 31 stands, probably because these cattle are carrying seed in their manure from this bottom and other places where we have eastern gamma grass. But the pivotal thing that we think has done it is non-selective grazing. The only way you can get your cattle to graze non-selectively, or the only way we've been able to get them to graze non-selectively, is by increasing the stock density, increasing the number of moves. We take out their ability to graze selectively, and we get a lot of manure and urine distribution, a lot of trample, and we have been mowing, if necessary, behind the cattle because we want to level the playing field for all of the forage. And as you can see by doing that, this is what we have been getting. Tremendous amount of diversity, very quality, very palatable forage, increase in the density of our plants. Everybody talks about oh, if you take 85-90%, you're leaving the ground bare. Well, that's not the case. You got to realize how much forage is standing here. If we graze 90% of that forage, the remaining 10% is more than adequate to cover the ground. What we have noticed is that most of your conventionally bred cattle can't stand to graze non-selectively because they've been bred for selective grazing or additional external feed inputs, low stocking rates in order to be productive. So we're in the process of changing the genetics in our herd a little bit. We think we will maintain at least 50% Black Angus and some combination 50% Mashona or some other breeds that help with nutritional adaptation and heat adaptation. So I wanted to clear a little bit of that up. We have had very positive results. I encourage everyone, if you haven't bought and read Johann Zeitzman's book, Man, Cattle, and Veld, he lays it all out pretty well. He's in a seasonal rainfall area in South Africa, but we've been applying his principles right here in the fescue country of North Carolina and seeing tremendous results with it. So also Jim Elizondo, if you see him on Facebook videos, he's a great resource there. He mentored, I believe, under Johann Zeitzman. He offers some training on these principles. It's a very good tool. I would encourage anybody to invest in educating themselves. At least look at the concept of this. I think the proof is in the pudding, so to speak, here. So I hope that clears up some questions. It's a look post-grazing. You can see on the other side, like I said, it's hard to walk here without stepping in cow manure. It's just like a slurry. Eastern Gamma, where they grazed right up, so you can see it's waist high here. And we've harvested, you know, probably 80% here. I'd say probably a 70% average on the whole sward. We will come in here with the bush hog and mow behind them. So hope this answers the questions everybody had. I would encourage you to check out Johann's book, check out Jim Elizondo. Both those guys are great resources for this type of management and cattle breeding. So I hope everybody has a fantastic day. You can check us out online at runningtbeef.com. You can like us on Facebook at Running T Beef. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel on the way out, and I hope everybody has a fantastic day.